From the Casa Aloha Studios in Los Angeles, California, the media capital of the universe, it's Tangent. The show that digs past the headlines, right through the story, and comes out the other end. And now, here's your host, Darren Riggs.
I'm Darren Riggs, and welcome to Tangent. Today on Tangent, clones. Are they backup organ banks, time-saving slaves, or evil replicants that will kill you and seamlessly take over your life? Let's find out. We'll go now to Archibald Carbiner, professor of something at the university somewhere. Professor, tell us about clones.
Well, we take an egg and from a female, and then we insert the DNA, the blueprint for the body, from a donor. And we do this in a test tube. And then the cool thing is we implant the egg into a...
So, while you're doing this, could you create a stronger, faster, better clone, like me, say, only with Arnold Schwarzenegger's arms and perfect vision?
Well, not with the technology that we have today.
That's really boring.
No, it's not.
Yes it is.
It's such advanced biotechnology, it's astounding. Now, as I was saying, we then implant the zygote into the womb of a suitable host.
Now, if a clone killed me, could it take over my life and leave my friends and family without a clue that I'd been replaced?
Well, no! Even though your clone would look like you, the experience of the clone will be like totally different, which would result in being a totally different person. The natural environment totally influences your personality.
God, you are really boring.
Each experience you have, how you react to it, and learn from it, and makes you who you are. Clones won't have any of your experiences.
I can't believe I'm still listening to this.
They won't be you.
If I could just jump in here for a second, Darren.
Oh, God, yes. Joining us from his underground supervillain lair, it's Dr. Disastrous.
Darren, as we speak, I'm building a legion of clones, and so far, I have to say my results have been very encouraging.
Cool. What are you going to do with your clone legions, Doctor?
Well, they'll be essential for my first 3 bullet points of my manifesto, which you can find at www.drdisastrous.me_manifesto.
Oh, hang on a second. We're being joined by another super evil genius, Dr. Unpleasant.
Darren, hi. I just wanted to come by and say that I, too, am building a clone army, with which I will seize Uruguay.
Professor Carbiner, how will you stop the combined clone armies of Dr. Disastrous and Dr. Unpleasant?
Clone legions.
Well, I really doubt that it's possible to clone a whole army. It would take millions of dollars, and controlling them would be totally impossible. Hang on, someone's at the door.
Yes! It's my clone army!
Ah! Ah! Ah!
Wow, clones. Silent but deadly. Till they knock on your door, in which case they're no longer silent, just deadly.
Now, as I was about to mention, my clone army is unstoppable.
Hang on, Dr. Unpleasant. Let's see what Dr. Disastrous has to say about this. Dr. Disastrous, are you going to team up with Dr. Unpleasant, form a super clone army, or are your clone legions going to fight his clone armies until only the strongest remains?
Well, it all depends if we can agree to common goals. I mean, perhaps then we could form a league of diabolicals.
Probably not. I'm a known maniacal egomaniac.
As am I, with an insane desire to destroy any authority that isn't me.
Well, I don't see how any of this is going to work out. But we're now being joined by General Brigadier Murray Smith of the United States Army. General?
Darren, I can assure you the United States Armed Forces are fully prepared to deal with any size armed threat, including paramilitary or the combined clone efforts of Dr. Disastrous and Dr. Unpleasant.
Thanks, Brigadier, for that reassuring reassurance.
Darren, I'd like to point out that the Brigadier is quite out of his league when making statements like this. Especially when the facts clearly point out.
Sorry, Doctor. I'll have to cut you short. We've got some feedback from the Tangent Street reporter. Let's go now to the street.
Excuse me, you there. You look like a pretty average Joe six-pack. What do you think about this clone business?
I'm not too happy about my tax dollars going to an army of evil clones led by mad scientists. And I'm not too happy about the UN, fire ant, and killer bees.
Great point. Which means it's time for another tangent. Fire ants, killer bees, in league taking over America's countryside, dooming humans to live in existence huddled in subterranean bee and ant-proof bunkers, or small, tiny, easily killable pests far less dangerous to humans than king cobras, mountain pumas, or vampire bats. Let's go to Bruce Kensington, fire ant and killer bee expert at the Dorkin Exterminating Company. He joins us now by webcam. There seems to be something wrong with Bruce's audio.
Oh, Darren, I'd like to mention I'm currently putting the finishing touches on a device that can control fire ants and killer bees.
That is going to be great news for homeowners who are plagued by these pests.
Right. Homeowners.
Darren, I can assure your viewers that the United States military has no fear of killer bees or fire ants. In fact, we rate these threats slightly above Micronesia, a practically helpless island archipelago in the south of France. The South Pacific. Goddamn, sometimes it's hard to yell archipelago, but I can assure you the United States military knows what the fucking archipelago is.
Interesting. In conquering my empire, after Uruguay and New Brunswick, I'll make sure to put Micronesia on my next list. Oh, and by the way, Dr. Disastrous, in my early experiments with cloning, I used exclusively fire ants and killer bees. I have billions of them in my warehouse now.
Are you suggesting we combine my clone legions with your clone armies and augment them with swarms of killer bees and hordes of fire ants?
Agreed!
Well, this seems like a really good place to wrap things up. Anyway, we're out of time. I'd like to thank all of my guests for joining me here today on Tangent, where the more we talk, the more we say. And really, that's what Tangent is all about.